Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjalashakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shivtaparakamam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarabhyascha Kripasindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So last time we were reading about the prayojana, the goal of approaching Bhagavad-gītā, or the result of understanding Bhagavad-gītā. And we were speaking basically about two main things: the spiritual road and devotional service, or Sanatana Dharma. So these things are so far our goal of our endeavor. So now we continue with the reading. Okay, the living entities are traveling from one planet to another, but it is not that we can go to any planet we like merely by a mechanical arrangement. If we desire to go to other planets, there is a process for going there. This is also mentioned. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitri vrataha. No mechanical arrangement is necessary if we want interplanetary travel. The Gita instructs Yanti deva vrata devan. The moon, the sun, and higher planets are called Svargaloka. There are three different statuses of planets: higher, middle, and lower planetary systems. The Earth belongs to the middle planetary system. Bhagavad-gītā informs us how to travel to the higher planetary systems. Devaloka, with a very simple formula: Yanti deva vrata devan. One need only worship the particular demigod of that particular planet, and in that way go to the moon, the sun, or any of the higher planetary systems. So here this formula is here, how to go to different planets. Basically, we kind of prepare our consciousness or make or produce some piety to go to those realms. We doesn't have to go forcefully in a way that we sit in some rocket and go there like this, because anyway we don't have bodies for these environments, so it's very difficult to remain there. Better approach is to take a new body, meaning after we leave present bodies, so according to our piety or karma we accumulated, so then we go to these other places. But now we continue. Yet Bhagavad-gītā does not advise us to go to any of the planets in this material world, because even if we go to Brahmaloka, the highest planet, through some sort of mechanical contrivance, by maybe traveling for 40,000 years, and who would live that long, we will still find the mechanical inconveniences of birth, death, disease, and old age. But one who wants to approach the supreme planet Krishna Loka or any other planet within the spiritual sky will not meet with these material inconveniences. Amongst all of the planets in the spiritual sky, there is one supreme planet called Goloka Vrindavana, the original planet in the abode of the original personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. All of this information is given in Bhagavad-gītā, and we are given through its instruction information how to leave the material world and begin a truly blissful life in the spiritual sky. So as you see, it is not recommended to go anywhere in the material world, because the same thing is there. Birth, death, disease, and old age, even if you can perceive that in the higher planets they live for so long from our perspective. But in fact, even in this duration of life they have there, because this understanding of the time or perceiving the time is very relative. So even demigods are living only 100 years there. But for us, these 100 years are thousands or tens of thousands of years. So we think that is very long, but the perception we will have ultimately in this place will be only maybe similar like this life. So it's not much difference anyway. Maybe a little higher enjoyment, but still it will end ultimately and we will come back to this planet. So there is not much to gain there in the long run. Therefore, Krishna recommends to go to his planet, because there we can remain eternally, and also we will be in our constitutional position. In the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā, the real picture of the material world is given. It is said there, Urdhvamulam adakshakam ashvatam prahuravyayam chandam siyasya parnani yastam vedasa vedavit. Here the material world is described as a tree whose roots are upwards and branches are below. We have experience of a tree whose roots are upward. If one stands on the bank of a river or any reservoir of water, he can see that the trees reflected in the water are upside down. The branches go downward and the roots upward. Similarly, this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. The material world is but a shadow of reality. In the shadow, there is no reality or substantiality. But from the shadow, we can understand that there are substance and reality. In the desert, there is no water, but the mirage suggests that there is such a thing as water. In the material world, there is no water, there is no happiness, but the real water of actual happiness is there in the spiritual world. So, yes, so here the true nature of material world is explained, that it's just a reflection. Everything what is in spiritual world is only reflected here. It's not it's like shadow. It's not the reality. So the real things are in the spiritual world. Also, the real happiness is there. The Lord suggests that we attain the spiritual world in the following manner. Bhagavad-gītā 15.5. Nirmana moha jita sangadosha adhyatma nitya nivritta kama tvanvair vimukta sukha dukkha samgyair kachantya mudhak padam avyayam tat. That padam avyayam or eternal kingdom can be reached by one who is nirmana moha. What does this mean? We are after designations. Someone wants to become sir, someone wants to become lord, someone wants to become the president or a rich man or a king or something else. As long as we are attached to these designations, we are attached to the body, because designations belong to the body. But we are not these bodies, and realizing this is the first stage in spiritual realization. We are associated with the three modes of material nature, but we must become detached through devotional service to the Lord. If we are not attached to devotional service to the Lord, then we cannot become detached from the modes of material nature. Designations and attachments are due to our lust and desire, our wanting to lord it over the material nature. As long as we do not give up this propensity of lording it over the material nature, there is no possibility of returning to the kingdom of the Supreme, the Sanatana Dhamma. The eternal kingdom, which is never destroyed, can be approached by one who is not bewildered by the attractions of false material enjoyments, who is situated in the service of the Supreme Lord. One so situated can easily approach that Supreme Abode. So here is qualification how to get to the spiritual world, or what are the conditions. First thing is we should become devoid of designations, because designations are belonging to the material body, and material body is temporary. And if we are somehow identifying with something what is temporary, there is no place for this mentality in the place which is eternal, like Sanatana Dhamma. Sanatana means eternal, so temporary things somehow are not belonging to the eternal reality. So this is the first thing, and then attachment also. So attachment to anything material also is incompatible to the attachment to the spiritual. We should be attached to devotional service instead of to material things. And one should be also situated in the service to of the Supreme Lord, because this is what we ultimately will do in the spiritual world. So that's the purpose why we will be admitted there, or the reason. Because when we want to do service, naturally, sooner or later we will be transferred to the spiritual world, because Lord then wants us there, because then we understand what is our position. So we will be shifted to such situation where we can do this service more natural and in natural environment. Elsewhere in the Gita 8.21 it is stated, Avyaktakshara ityuktas tamahu paramam gatim yam prapya nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Avyakta means unmanifested. Not even all of the material world is manifested before us. Our senses are so imperfect that we cannot even see all of the stars within this material universe. In the Vedic literature, we can receive much information about all the planets, and we can believe it or not believe it. All of the important planets are described in the Vedic literatures, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, and the spiritual world, which is beyond this material sky, is described as avyakta, unmanifested. One should desire and hanker after that supreme kingdom, for when one attains that kingdom, he does not have to return to this material world. Okay, so by default, when we are conditioned, we do not see the spiritual world. We don't have this vision because it is unmanifested to our vision or avyakta. So, and what to speak of spiritual world, we don't even see all of the material creation. Partially we can see our universe, but not even that. And there are other universes also which we cannot see at all, because they are beyond the covering of our universe where we are situated now. So that's it about the result of understanding Bhagavad-gītā. Next we will look on on the Abhideya. Abhideya is how to get to this future position or to the spiritual world and be situated in devotional service there. So we will see what is the process. So in this part we spoke that our goal is the spiritual world. The situation there is in devotional service, and this abode is eternal or sanatana. And also there are some conditions how to get there, which means we should be devoid of bodily designations and also without attachments to the material things, but rather be attached to the devotional service. So that's it. So next time, what is given in Bhagavad-gītā for attaining the abode of Krishna. Hare Krishna.